this is a Gumball wizard. It's a Gumball machine. And we're going to be restoring it because I've owned this machine for over 10 years now at this point. When I was a very little kid, I loved Gumball machines, and my parents found this at a yard sale for $5, so I got it. However, it came half full of gumballs, and they were stale at that point, and until about an hour ago, those gumballs were still in it. So it needs cleaned out, because I recently discovered how cheap gumballs are, and I have 850 of them on the way. So I need to clean this thing out. So, because I'm not putting gumballs, I'm not putting brand new gumballs in this. Or that. Because it is a disgusting mess. So it is time to restore this thing. And to do that, we're going to be fully disassembling this thing and cleaning every single component, because this is full of 10 plus years of dried gumball goop. And gumballs don't dry out very much, so it's very sticky. So let's get started. One thing, when I bought this 10 plus years ago, it was cracked like this, and they had it just cheaply silicone back together. That silicone has yellowed greatly, and it's already cracking. So let's rip off all this old silicone, and we'll be completely gluing this and then, trying to make this thing shiny again. To make that as least noticeable as possible, because that is very noticeable and looks disgusting. So that's going to be something to do after we get the rest of this gum out of it, though. God damn. Okay, I got a bucket of warm soapy water, a microfiber. Let's get started. And I think to get started, we're just going to let this stuff soak, because it's going to need to soak into all of this disgusting gum. And let's start this assembly. Oh my god, that is so sticky. Yeah, that's disgusting. Should be wearing gloves or something. This is so fucking sticky. Oh my goodness. Don't question my wrench choices. This is what I had setting up here. This is a battery terminal wrench, but it works. Not sure why this one was covered in duct tape. Oh my god, I gotta twist this all the way off. I'm gonna do this 2 more times. What the hell is it for? Come on, not too quickly. Oh, that's hold on. Here. That's a lot of time. That's not going to fit in my soap bowl. Ooh, it's sticky. Ugh. I somehow don't think that electrical tape is food grade. Just a hunch, though. Oh, well, hello there. Here we can see the back side of the coin mech. So let's see if we can get this out. Looks like it's gonna be difficult. How the hell am I supposed to get to that screw and that screw? I'm gonna need the shortest damn screwdriver ever. Please, for the love of God, Linus Tech Tips, make a better one of these. I've never had one that works well. They all suck. I'm assuming there's a correct position this has to be in. What the fuck? Oh no, I have to take the end off. Duh. Hey, the key is actually metal. Well, I guess it's good it's metal because the last prying on it wouldn't have survived if it was plastic. God, everything is covered in a layer of sticky gumball in this, which makes it so difficult to disassemble. But we finally got the oak logo off. Which means... oh god. This is gonna be really fucking fun to figure out how to put back together, but that's for future me's problem. Especially because just things keep falling out. Where the fuck did this spring go? Not to mention this. This screw I took out. But where the fuck did this come from? All future me's problem. Well, I can get this out now finally. Now, how the fuck does this come apart? Okay, it just pulls apart. It was just kind of a little bit gunked together. And I don't think I'm getting that off of that. But it looks like we got this part now, and it looks like it's just held together with some plastic pegs. And, come on. And it looks like the bottom was broken, but now we can clean out this disgusting thing. And all of that. Oh god, that just went everywhere. I'm just doing a preliminary wipe down with this. I'm going to have to come over this with paper towels and actually clean these. I'm just trying to get all the large chunks of gum out. Again, this is just a preliminary wipe down to try and get all the gunk off before I actually go in and clean everything. Now, I'd like to be able to separate these two things. It actually separated without breaking. I thought for sure that just broke. But nope, it separated. So, that's good, because there's some black gunk in there that I'd like to clean out. Yeah, that's disgusting. I'm going to use this for gumballs. This thing needs to be clean. Now, this isn't going to be on in a store or anything. This is just going to be for personal use, but still. I don't want to eat this disgustingness. Gumball Wizard. Manufactured by Global Gumball Inc. Okay, so I need to get this globe cleaned up and make it look newish as best as I can. And to do that, I really need to sand it and buff it, and I don't have all the individual stuff to do that, but what does is a headlight restoration kit. This has the drill mount, sandpaper, and buffing pad, so I think it'll work. Headlight's plastic, this thing's plastic. What could be the difference? I'm sure it'll work. Let's find out. I'm going to try it on the bottom first, just in case it does melt the plastic or something stupid like that. So as long as I keep it moving, I don't think it'll melt the plastic, but we'll try it in a spot you can't see just in case. I'm not sure why I didn't record any of that, but I sanded this thing down. I sanded where the cracks were with the 500 grit. Then I went to 800 grit and sanded the entire thing. Then I went to 3000 grit and sanded the entire thing. And then realized the kit I got didn't come with a buffing wheel. It just told you to stop at 3000 grit, which is stupid. So then I custom made this buffing wheel out of a broken, just gummed up one that I had and slapped it on here and used some turtle wax buffing compound. It's cloudier than I would like, but hear me out. Here's why. I buffed it. It looked really good, but it started to get cloudy really quick. So I buffed it again and clear coated it because the plastic being in the sun, it didn't like it. It was going to get cloudy. So I had to, clear coat it with something. The kit came with a wipe-on UV protector, which I tried at first, and that made it really cloudy. Didn't like it. Left terrible breath marks. So I completely auto-mode clear coated the outside, and I just finished buffing it again. So it's a little bit cloudier than I'd like, but right on the inside, it's not cloudy at all. It's just at a distance, it's a little bit cloudy. So the gumballs being right inside of it, you'll see perfectly fine. So I think that'll be perfect. It looks better than the way it did. I'm pretty, at least in my opinion, it does. Also, it's just a lot clearer and cleaner. So looks pretty good. We're gonna rock it. Was it worth all the time I wasted? Probably not, because that took way too long for not a great result, but hey. Well, I tried. So, well, now I'm going to clean the inside with soapy water before I ever put any gumballs in it. Obviously, I don't know if any chemicals ended up in there, but I don't want to leave. Actually, buffing compound probably ended up in there, so we're definitely going to want to wash everything out. There's probably still some buffing compound on the outside. I just lightly wiped it off with a microfiber. Well, I guess it's time to reassemble the gumball machine. Gumball machine, assemble! Damn, that didn't work. So here are all the metal pieces. Once I soaked for a little bit, I wiped them off, and then I dried them with heat so they didn't corrode or anything. So these were dried with heat so they wouldn't corrode, because that would be bad. And then all the plastic pieces were scrubbed a couple times and left to air dry. So everything's dry. Let's start assembling this thing. Let's hope I remember. It's been a few days. I have no fucking idea how this went together. Nice tech-tip screwdriver. How the fuck did you come apart? I think we're going to start by putting the coin mech back in this, because if I remember correctly, that was a real goddamn pain to get out. So let's try and figure out how this goes together. Where's all the metal? It's only like 700 different pieces of metal in here, because there's like these large pieces and then there's like a million little ones. So luckily, I've been doing this since I was a very little kid, which I'll have proof of in a later video, but I should be able to figure out how to put this together. I hope. Let's figure out how this works. Obviously, we got that. We got this. We're going to put this on correctly, because I don't know if you remember, but when it was put together, this was crooked. This was up like this when it was closed. It should be like that when it's closed. I don't know who put it together wrong, but it wasn't me, because I've never had this one apart. But we're going to put it back together correctly, hopefully. I'm going to try to put it back together correctly, I should say. That looks straight. Oh. Oh, you can't have it correctly. What the hell? The only way to have it is like this, which is crooked. I ain't having... Oh, it comes apart here. Let's take this a little bit further apart. Then maybe we'll be able to fix it. Ooh, those are tight. Not tight, gummy. God, I love this screwdriver. Cannot wait for the short one. I will be ordering that thing immediately. But they better come out with a black shaft short one. Just for a limited time like they did this one. Because I really am not going to be happy if they don't match. Ew. Oh. This is smart. Hold up. So, if some kid just really twists on it really hard without a coin, instead of breaking the coin mech, this just jumps over one. That is genius. I did not know that. Okay. That is actually really smart. So it just has the pressure of that spring keeping it from jumping over. Somebody probably just twisted it really hard and made it jump over. That's why it was messed up. Okay. That is good to know. That is actually really cool. Not something I thought about. That's definitely not on every coin mech, because I've never seen that before, but I mean, it's probably on most of them, to be fair. Most of the ones I've worked on are from the, like, 60s, so I'm sure there's been some advancement in the coin mech since then. But that is actually really smart. That's why I am not an engineer. Okay, now, let's see if that works. There we go. That's backwards. No, it was not backwards. Is that seriously right? Maybe? God damn it, I don't know. Well, that cannot be right. So that's, I guess that answers the question. It was definitely like this. But much, much better than this being like that. Okay. So like this, it just infinitely runs. So that's cool. So we need to put in whatever the rest of the stuff is. Looks like we got this arm, which goes right here, it looks like. Okay, so that stops it unless there's a quarter large enough to push that up and hold that out of the way. That is smart. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Okay, I moved the camera so I can actually hopefully work on this without actually being in pain for how I'm being maneuvered. How the fuck? Oh, I see. This goes in right here and pushes pressure on that. And then the coin's large enough, it would hold that out of the way. Then not, god damn it. Okay, so that is just like that. And then this would go that, like that. Well, it can't fit on like that. Oh, okay. I didn't realize it's tapered, so it can only go on like that. So that that tells me it goes on like that. And then this here, shoot, is this geared? Oh, fuck me. Which way is it? Up? It's not keyed. I guess we're gonna have to put it on and make sure it stays centered. I don't think it's actually gonna matter, but we'll see. Fortunately, that's all the further we can actually have it together before we put it in this. So, gotta put this in here, put that back on. Now I gotta put this on right there. That is in. Got it. So then this, I gotta put back together because everything fell out of it. Now, we put this all together right here. The hell does this go? What the fuck are you? I figured out where it goes, actually. I just see where it goes. As you can see, one of these sticks up further than the rest. So it goes here. The f does that do? The hell? This! That's what this hits. Okay, got it. I figured it out. Took me a second. But I got it. I'm a genius. Okay, this thing's almost together. It's been a real goddamn pain. This stubby screwdriver is really freaking annoying me. Oh, I actually think I figured out what the reason this bar is here for. Basically, it's what takes the brunt of the force whenever you push backwards instead of the little thing that catches on the gear, so you can't force it backwards. So, that makes sense. And with the quarter, works perfectly. So, perfect. We did it right somehow. Everything else should be easier. This tube just kind of is a tube. It attaches there. I'm going to go to microfiber so I can clean this up a little bit while I'm putting the two back together. Look at that. Much better. Much better? What the fuck am I even saying? I've done too much shit here. Can't even talk. Now, so. Now, like this. Yes. Okay. That keyway goes right there. Perfect. Now, the base. Okay, let's put the base on. Goes keyed to the front here. What do these screws even go in? Oh, they're right. They hold the metal piece on, right? Where they go now? Why does this not want to be together? Because I'm not putting it together. That's together, the way it should be. So, put that down. Put this tube in there. Let's put the seam in the tube towards the back. I think that makes the most sense. And then this just sits on here. Okay, this metal bar right here, I believe, if I remember correctly, this gets bolted on right here, it looks like. with which screws? These short one, it looks like... You know, a smart person would have looked at the footage that they literally recorded of them disassembling it before attempting to reassemble the same thing. And I did not, because I am not smart. This needs to go in here soon, if not now. Am I missing something? You? No, you go on top of this thing. Okay, so this goes in like that. The metal rod should have waited, but it didn't. This doesn't melt at all? Jesus. This thing must have been held with just hopes and dreams. Then this goes on here, unfortunately. As you can see, there's a burr right here that is keeping this from seating in that properly. So I'm going to actually cut this burr off and put a little bit of white lithium grease on this because it rotates on this and I don't want it to melt that off the rest of the way. So I'll be back. Okay, so I currently cut off the burr. I decided against the white lithium grease because I don't have food grade lithium grease or any grease. So it's not going to turn that much, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, there we go. It's much better now that burr's off. It's been much more freely, so that should be good. Let's just put this on. On. And then this goes here. Got it. Let's just make sure it fully functions. Where did my quarter go? Let's see if this thing works. And right there, the gumball would drop, and we're good. Okay, so it's good. Which means we gotta put this the rest of the way together. It looks like this rod needs to go up through and line up with the hole in this. But now I have to thread this on without that bolt falling back through. So actually I gotta hold it from the other side. It should not be falling apart. Yeah, we're solid as a rock. Not really, but we're solid. And that will go, yes, like that. Yeah, we'll go with that. It really doesn't matter. And then this, you need to put the springs back on. It has two springs, one for here and one for here. And they just kind of slide in like that. Stretch this one over here. And put that in like that. So there's one, and the other one's got to stretch a little bit further. Okay, there we go. They got to be up past the bottom lip here. So they are both now in there perfectly. So let's bolt this on, which it goes right here. Looks like, at least. Yep, right there. Perfect. Let's put the globe on, I think. So let's stab it in. So let's just put the base on while we're down here. Here we have the base. Jesus Christ. Well, luckily it did not break anything, but it did knock a bunch of my screw bits everywhere. Looks like the rod stabs through right here. This nut should be countersunk in right there. And this rod just threads into that nut. Yeah, just a little bit. Perfect. Now we put the globe in. Alright, now I gotta put these plastic pieces down in the globe here. On the front. So I gotta keep the globe lined up. Probably should have waited on that metal piece, actually. One more. Well, by one more, I mean three more. I don't know why I said one more. Okay, that globe is on there pretty solid. So, we're good. Obviously the base came up when I did that because it's being held up, but one solid gumball machine. Back together. Well, mostly. Okay, now what I need to do is put this last rod on. Well, this is going to be a challenge and a fucking half. It's probably not going to be super tight, I guess, but we're going to really get a pair of pliers in here. Okay, that ain't coming undone. So now we can put this onto here. Now we have a fully assembled gumball machine. Mostly. You may have noticed I haven't shown a lid yet in this video. And that is because I don't have an original lid for this machine. It never came with a lid when I bought it, many, many years ago. I did, however, find one that kind of works. As you can see, it's not the right lid. I don't even think it's for a Wizard Gumball machine. But it's also blue. But I like the blue, so I'm not going to repaint it red, because it's a nice-ass blue. I really like it. So we're going to leave it blue. So let's see if it fits. Well, I kind of know it fits. The problem is, it also twists, which is a problem because it can't twist, because that's how these things lock. This is a lock and key I just ordered for a Gumball machine. As you can see, it threads into that metal rod, and you thread it in, and you'd pull your key out, and then, you know, you wouldn't be able to untwist it because it locks into the lid. But if you can just twist the lid, obviously, you can kind of just undo it. Now, I think we'll be able to twist this thing tight enough that it won't be able to twist off the lid. Plus, I'm going to put a gasket on there. So, it should be just friction tight enough. Since it's not going to be in an actual store, I don't think I have to worry. Technically, it should fit into those slots. However, again, this isn't the correct globe. This isn't the correct globe for this machine, because these are just, somebody took a Dremel and cut them in. But the marks on this one don't even line up with the top of this globe, so it doesn't really matter. So I can't really make anything unless I 3D print something custom. But again, I think friction is just going to be enough. So let's find something to use as a gasket. Also, I don't actually know if my lock is the right thread pattern. I hope it is. I really hope it is. Oh shit, it might not be. It is the right thread pattern, it was just messed up at the top of the threads, so it threads into there fine. Okay, we're good, thank goodness. Alright, what I'm planning on using is like car door gasket, automotive gasket that you'd put on your car door. To put on here. Unfortunately, I thought I had some, but I don't. I can't find it anywhere. So, I'm not going to delay the video to order some of that, but that's what I'm going to use for the gasket. So let's just go with that for now. Let's put in the gumballs. Okay, I just gave the insides one final cleaning, and also, before anyone mentions about the gasket not being food grade, I know technically the gumballs won't be touching it, plus this is a personal machine for personal use, and if I poison myself, who cares? So, we're going to use it, even though it's not food grade, because it doesn't touch the food. And personal use. Obviously, I was selling a machine, I couldn't do that, but personal use, I don't really care. For gumballs, I ordered 850 double wobble gumballs, 1 inch. I'll be honest, they take up a lot less space than I thought they would, so, I mean, it should fill this globe pretty far, but it's not going to overfill it like I thought it would, which is good. I mean, I wasn't planning on filling this the whole way up because I don't like the look of that. Like, I'm kind of partially full because I think that looks better. So, let's put them in. Also, I should just put a couple in and make sure it works first. Okay, there's a couple gumballs in it. Let's... Yay! Gumball! Sweet! It works. Hope that didn't count as one of my gumballs. I'm sure people are curious. The 850 gumballs cost me about a little over $30, and then shipping was a little under, or a little around 20. Ultimately equaled out to just over 5 cents per gumball. So you make a little bit under 20 cents per gumball at selling them at a quarter. I'm not gonna lie, filling this thing up with gumballs smells amazing. I guess it doesn't matter, I found the other half, so I guess that is one of my gumballs. That 850 gumballs filled this just under halfway, so I'm gonna say this is probably close to a 2,000 gumball machine, which is insane. Hi. That's kind of ridiculous. And this is one of the smaller gumball machines. I can't imagine one of the giant ones. Hello. Good lord. That is a lot of gumballs. And I guess, actually, it's 849. Actually, no, because I ate like 2 or 3 of them, so. Hi. Okay. Well, that looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I probably shouldn't have done anything to the globe, to be honest. It looked better before I did anything. It's a little bit hazy now, which sucks, but oh well. At least now I know. Sure where you're supposed to put this, like... Hello? Maybe... We're gonna do that. And maybe we'll put it to the side so it's less distracting. There we go. Much better. I like it. They look way better with gumballs in them, I must say. Okay, lid is locked in place. I'd say it's ready to go. I gotta take out my halves of gumballs and it's good. That's, Gumball machine restored.